Yet, despite its significance, the Reconstruction era has long been misunderstood. For much of the past century, historians portrayed it as a time of corruption and misgovernment, the lowest point in the saga of American democracy. According to this view, radical Republicans in Congress, bent on punishing defeated Confederates, established corrupt Southern governments based on the votes of freed African Americans who were supposedly unfit to exercise democratic rights. This portrayal, which received scholarly expression in the early 20th century works of William Dunning and his students at Columbia University, provided an intellectual justification for the system of segregation and disenfranchisement that followed Reconstruction, and for the depredations of the Ku Klux Klan and other violent organizations bent on restoring and maintaining white supremacy. Any effort to restore the rights of Southern blacks, these writers suggested, would lead to a repeat of the alleged horrors of Reconstruction. As late as 1944, Gunnar Myrdal noted in his influential work, An American Dilemma, that when pressed about the black condition, white Southerners will regularly bring forward the horrors of the Reconstruction governments and of black domination. Today, having abandoned the racism on which the old view of Reconstruction was predicated, most historians see Reconstruction as a laudable effort to build an interracial democracy on the ashes of slavery. But the old view retains a remarkable hold on the popular imagination, including the pernicious idea that expanding the rights and powers of blacks constitutes a punishment to whites. For that reason alone, this book is especially welcome. The essays in this volume represent an ongoing effort to reevaluate the Reconstruction era and to reclaim its unrealized potential for achieving racial justice. Among Reconstruction's most tangible legacies are the 3 constitutional amendments, see Appendix A on the enhancement for transcript, ratified between 1865 and 1870. The 13th Amendment irrevocably abolished slavery throughout the United States. The 14th constitutionalized the principles of birthright citizenship and equality before the law, regardless of race. The 15th sought to guarantee the right to vote for black men throughout the reunited nation. All 3 empowered Congress to enforce their provisions, radically shifting the balance of power from the states to the nation, ensuring that Reconstruction would be an ongoing process. The amendments had flaws. The 13th allowed involuntary servitude to continue for people convicted of crime, inadvertently opening the door to the subsequent creation of an enormous system of convict labor. The 14th mandated that a state's number of congressional representatives would be reduced if it barred groups of men from voting, a provision that was never enforced, but imposed no penalty if it disenfranchised women. The 15th allowed states to limit citizens' right to vote for reasons other than race. Nonetheless, the amendments should be seen not simply as changes to an existing structure, but as a second American founding, which created a fundamentally new Constitution. Taken together, as George William Curtis, the editor of Harper's Weekly, wrote at the time, they transformed a government for white men into one for mankind. They laid the foundation for a remarkable democratic experiment in which, for the first time in our history, black men throughout the nation were allowed to exercise the right to vote in large numbers and to hold public offices ranging from members of Congress to state legislators and local officials. Reconstruction also made possible the consolidation of black families, so often divided by sale during slavery, and the establishment of the independent black church as the core.